A parole system for the Bahamas is being mapped out.
Minister of National Security, the Honorable Dr. Bernard Nottage, announced earlier this year that the program will reduce the strain on the overcrowded prison and allow people convicted of minor crimes like drug possession to be reintegrated into society.
Now, our Janaea Noel Ferguson tells us tonight that prison officials are also preparing for the program, which will require additional manpower.
Government hopes to have a parole system for the Bahamas rolled out by the end of the year. The plan, still being deliberated, will be an extension of the electronic monitoring system first implemented back in 2011. Now, in order for the program to be a success and reduce overcrowding, at the Bahamas Department of Corrections, Prison Commissioner Patrick Wright says an increase in prison officers is a must, and the government has committed to doing just that.
We are I would say 7/8, and this government have been very friendly, recruit friendly to the correction facilities. We are just about days away from taking in another 100 plus recruits, and that would bring our strength somewhere in the neighborhood of 700 plus.
Commissioner Wright, however, said that he believes the new parole system would initially require some 900 officers. Presently, 611 are employed.
We're looking at about another 200 plus staff in order to get to what we believe our maximum, in order to be able to really police the facilities and run the programs that needed to be run in order for inmates to have an opportunity at various programs for reintegration back into society.
The parole system is expected to include technical and vocational training, education courses, and other basic skills to ready parolees for the job market. Additionally, Wright says officers must also undergo training. The parole and probation program is being funded in part by the Inter-American Development Bank. Wright believes it's a much-needed investment.
We just now has gone into corrections, which is a different animal than prisons. And that called for a different type of officers, well trained in all of the areas. So that's why the numbers seems high, but because of the professionalism that needs to come into the department in order for correction to come full cycle, that's why the number is so high.
It costs about $14,000 annually for one prisoner to be incarcerated. Wright believes that the landmark measures to implement a parole system will not only impact crime, but significantly reduce this bill on the public purse and provide alternative means of reform. Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Thanks a lot, Janaea. Airport upgrades continue throughout the Family Islands. The Ministry of Transport and Aviation has earmarked, based on recommendations from international consultant firm Stantec, to refurbish and transform these facilities, bringing them compliant and up to international standards. Exuma is up next, and according to Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, it will reflect the major economic developments on the drawing board for that island.
I spoke with the minister responsible for aviation, Mrs. Glenys Hannah Martin. She and the architectural team and the consulting team are at an advanced stage in recreating and repositioning the Exuma Airport into a new terminal building that we would want to start construction on this year, a parallel taxiway, but otherwise reconditioning the buildings that are there to be integrated into this new airport environment. But the airport and Exuma will match the improvement in the products. And consultations are taking place with the developers so that they may make an input into what we're doing.
2 men are dead after a police-involved shooting in Sunset Park overnight. Police say that officers were patrolling the area around 6 o'clock. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean shared with reporters what happened after the confrontation with police.
They saw 2 men in a vehicle who aroused their suspicion. The officers ordered the vehicle to stop. The men refused. They sped off and turned into the yard of a residence. The men then exited the vehicle, blazing handguns. They confronted the police, and during the exchange of gunfire, the 2 men were fatally shot. We cannot allow for persons who hell-bent, despite the warnings, despite the pleas, to put away the guns, persons who hell-bent on committing crime. And we ask persons, do not confront the police. The police are well-trained. You have an efficient force who is focusing on a police plan laid out by the Commissioner of Police. We will continue to seek out criminal elements.
Now, the episode unfolded on Wendell Drive and Anthony Lane, although residents describe the area as quiet. Unfortunately, they say they are no strangers to outside criminal elements attempting to wreak havoc on their community. This incident is now turned over to Her Majesty's coroner for further investigation, and residents say it's time for the bloodshed to stop.
I heard like rapid fire shots, then there was a pause. Then it seemed like it was rapid fire again. So I said, hold on, that sounded like gunshot to me. So I went to advance to check on my daughter in her bedroom. My wife came running out of my daughter's room with her, and she's saying that someone was running in the road. So I bent down to the window. It seemed like it's a person out on all black. And I heard them shouting, saying, get down, get down.
If those persons who were shot today were in the course of committing an offense, okay, I applaud the police for their effort.
More than 5 persons who have been killed in this area in the past few years, and unfortunately they're all young men, and for some reason the message isn't getting out to the young men in this country that the way they choose to live their life don't make any sense.
In court today, a date set to try 3 teenagers accused of killing 16-year-old Doris Johnson high schooler Adonai Wilson. He was fatally stabbed during an after-school altercation on Prince Charles Drive last year. During today's proceedings, Justice Bernard Turner set November 28 for the trial. However, that date will be confirmed when the teens return to court on May 3rd. At that time, any other outstanding issues will also be addressed. The teens were aged 15, 16, and 17 when the incident occurred. However, the 17-year-old has since turned 18. The defendants deny any involvement in the matter. Roberta Reckley, Ian Cargill, and Emilio Ducille are defending them.
If you know of a crime, please call Crime Stoppers at 328-8477, toll free 242-300-8477. You can also check them out on www.crimestoppersbahamas.com. Let's stop the crime before it's your time.